This month of gaming news begins with the most devious crime. Viewers will probably remember the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard back in January, which was the biggest in the industry's history. As it turns out, 3 very rich individuals made significant stock purchases of the company right before the announcement went public, leading to investment banking company JP Morgan Chase reporting them for suspicion of insider trading. Activision Blizzard would be trading at under $60 in December last year, but would see a significant spike after the acquisition announcement, immediately shooting to over $80. When considering the 3 investors by the name of Barry Diller, Alexander von Furstenberg, and David Geffen would collectively buy $108 million in Activision Blizzard stocks before the announcement, this would net them a tidy profit of around $60 million, or enough to buy them all the Rule 34 tracer art their hearts could desire. Of course, these 3 investors would argue that they made a very lucky bet on the struggling company right before its stock price rose 30% overnight, but they all have one thing in common. As it turns out, they're all personal friends with none other than Bobby Kotick, current CEO of Activision Blizzard.
Wait, that's illegal.
Best known for creating a workplace so toxic that one of his employees killed herself. Since the revelation, the US Justice Department and the Securities and Exchange Commission have both opened investigations around the suspicious investments. However, if I were a betting man, I probably wouldn't expect anything to come from such an inquiry. I could be wrong, however, as after all, only insider traders can truly predict the future. Of course, Bobby Kotick's days at Activision Blizzard are numbered, and we shouldn't judge a company of nearly 10,000 people just because some of them are scum of the earth. In what seems like a lifetime, the Overwatch team actually had news to share this month, which couldn't have come sooner. In a developer update, game director of Overwatch 2, Aaron Keller, would personally apologize for the lack of communication about the project, and assured players that they would be sharing much more going forward. The first thing they announced was that Overwatch 2's PvP and PvE sections would be separated from one another, which is something that a decent segment of the player base has wanted for a long time. What this means is that the team won't have to wait for the PvE segment of the game to be finished before releasing the PvP portion to the public, which is fantastic news, as the game has suffered a severe content drought since the team doubled down on the sequel several years ago. The last time Overwatch added a support character was almost an entire year before the words COVID-19 meant anything to anyone, and now more than ever, the world could certainly use more heroes. As part of this renewed interest in the community, the team also announced an upcoming PvP beta, which would be releasing on the 26th of April to PC players who register to participate. The beta will include the new damage dealer Sojourn, as well as reworks for Doomfist, Orisa, Bastion, and Sombra. The beta also comes with 4 new maps for the new push game mode and a much needed ping system that will allow players to communicate without needing to go full rap god. Although regular chumps like yours truly have yet to gain access, a select few members of the community like Overwatch League professionals have been playing throughout the month of March, and some of them have fortunately been loose-lipped about their experiences. As expected, the change to only have 1 tank per team has affected the tank role the most. However, most players report that the core feel of the game remains unchanged. Another widely held sentiment is that Sojourn herself is a bit overtuned in her current form, as she's able to one-shot squishy heroes with her railgun and is equipped with the ability to get away with doing so. In many ways, giving the game to professional players to test and break is a good way to tune a hero before they reach the much less forgiving public, so I expect the developers will be frantically taking notes as we speak. In terms of the reworked heroes, the team already showed off changes for Bastion and Sombra last year, but Orisa and Doomfist are entirely new, and as someone who would rather shit in my hands and clap than play with either of these heroes, this serves to be fantastic news. Orisa may as well be a completely different character, as her fortify ability now grants her an HP boost, her shield has been replaced by a spear that can knock enemies into walls, and she now has an ability to destroy all incoming projectiles much like D.Va. Her ultimate ability now pulls all enemies toward her, while both dealing damage and making her completely immune from crowd control abilities. Doomfist on the other hand was moved into the tank role, meaning his reign of killing support players, with absolutely no recourse, has finally come to an end. The Fist Man has seen his overall damage decrease, while receiving a sizable increase to his health, and while he'll still be able to one-shot squishy targets like before, he'll first be required to use his abilities to absorb incoming damage to do so. Doomfist's rising uppercut and seismic slam skills have been combined into one ability, which is given more crowd control, to be more in line with his tank role. No mention was made to his ultimate ability. It's worth mentioning that although this beta only has one new hero, the team have stated that they intend to adopt a much more frequent stream of content for Overwatch 2. In a previous video I made a few months ago, I actually made an argument to do just this, as judging by the team's previous release schedule, this would allow them to pump out a hero every 2 months, for a whole 2 years, before needing to slow down, which personally seems to be much more appealing for long-term players. We still have a month to go before normies like us can get our hands on the beta, but it's unlikely that we will see any major changes before the beta release. Anyway, here's this month's sponsor that was supposed to be included on a video about mattresses. Viewers who are intending to share a mattress of their own might be wanting to min-max their attractiveness, and luckily, Manscaped makes this easier than ever. With Manscaped's Performance Package Kit, you'll have everything you need to impress that special someone and finally give you enough confidence to ask Stacy out to a date, take that job as an undercover FBI agent, or to finally defeat that boss in Elden Ring. The Crop Preserver will keep your sack fresher than my last breakup. The Weed Whacker will get rid of those nose hairs quicker than a rabbit in a crack house, and the Shears 2.0 will keep those nails cleaner than a politician from Utah. The flagship of the pack is the Lawnmower 4.0, which is a waterproof trimmer, rumored to be softer than a pillow and more quiet than that same pillow. You never know when your cock might be expecting company, but with Manscaped, you'll always be ready for a surprise doctor's appointment, a date with that special someone, or a change room scuffle with the homies. As always, checking out with the code on screen will get you 2 free gifts, 20% off, and free international shipping. Manscaped. Don't say Uncle Swag never did anything for your penis. Meanwhile, CD Projekt Red confirms their new Witcher game will be running on Unreal Engine 5. Gamescom 2022 will be held in person after a 2-year break, and the Overwatch League doesn't have a single sponsor, with less than 2 months before the start of its 5th season. After what feels like an eternity, Arry Pottah fans were presented with the first real gameplay of Hogwarts Legacy, surprising viewers with a 20-minute trailer, which looks to be a lot more ambitious than many fans were expecting. The game is set around 200 years before Arry Pottah first stepped foot into the halls of Hogwarts, and allows players to live life of a student in the 1800s. This means players will be sorted into one of 4 houses before being free to explore the school grounds and the surrounding areas. However, as a student, you will still be required to attend all of your expected classes, such as potions, herbology, and defense against the dark arts, all of which will teach you different element of the game and allow you to specialize in different areas of the art of magic. I'm not even a big Arry Pottah fan, but if this game is half as good as the gameplay trailer makes it seem, then I can't wait to get sorted into Slytherin and start selling wizard crack on the side. Hogwarts Legacy will arrive on all consoles and PC in the 4th quarter of this year. The next story is going to be looking at the shit ton of leaks that were uncovered about Apex Legends, so if you're someone who likes surprises, then I'd recommend skipping forward now. As regular players likely know, Apex Legends has been no stranger to enormous leaks in the past, with one such data miner all the way back in September 2019, predicting the rough ability outline of new Legends, up until the release of Mad Maggie in February this year. In what seems to be the biggest leak in Apex Legends history, data miners have seemingly uncovered over 2 years worth of playable Legends, a new battle royale map called Divided Moon, 2 arenas maps, 3 leaked weapons, a laser sight mod, new emotes, and upcoming mythic items. Some previous leaks have been proven to be honeypot operations by the developers to catch leakers, but with so much content included, the likelihood of this being part of a bamboozle operation is exceedingly low. A few of these legends in particular seem to be updated and reworked versions of the first draft which was leaked 3 years ago, while others appear to be entirely new. As a very avid Apex enjoyer, I can happily see myself playing every single one of these leaked characters, and I'm happy to report that there seems to be much more of an emphasis on support abilities, as opposed to the recent scan meta, which has dominated new releases for over a year. In all likelihood, many of these characters are likely to go through drastic changes before they reach the live version sometime in the future, but it seems as if learning from the mistakes of the past, Apex still has a very bright future ahead. Meanwhile, Sifu mods already let players become anyone, and Snoop Dogg joins Call of Duty Warzone. The Video Game Accessibility Awards were held this month, which gives out awards to developers who make the effort to ensure their games can be played by those with disabilities. Halo Infinite took home the most awards of the night, including the Clear Text Award for Best Readability in-game, and a particular commendation for its Training Grounds mode, which gives players the ability to play matches outside the brutality of online multiplayer. Other awards were given to Guardians of the Galaxy for its additional interface to receive information about a game's progression, Forza Horizon 5 for its AI-assisted driving option, and Far Cry 6 for its fine-tuned aiming options. Final Fantasy XIV was also given an award for allowing players to completely remap their entire control configuration. Life is Strange True Colors was commended for its ability to entirely bypass some areas of the game, and Elden Ring scored exactly no awards, as an accessible mode to the player base is having the ability to level up in the first place. It seems as if the invasion of Ukraine has also reached the gaming world, and although we've dedicated around half an hour to covering the war in our upcoming regular news video, there's still a few points on the gaming side. While Ukrainian game developers frantically relocate abroad or to the safer western regions of the country, Ukraine's vice prime minister published a letter specifically to the gaming industry requesting that companies block all Russian and Belarusian accounts, along with preventing their esports teams from participating in events. This has led to a myriad of companies pulling out of these markets entirely, including Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, EA, Activision Blizzard, Epic Games, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, and CD Projekt Red, to name a few. Along with these pullouts, fundraisers from sites itch.io and Humble Bundle have raised a combined $16 million as of time of writing, and both Microsoft and Epic Games have pledged to donate profits from all Fortnite microtransactions up until the 3rd of April. In the first 3 days of this initiative, Fortnite raised more money for Ukraine than was donated by the Australian government, meaning one of the biggest contributors of humanitarian aid won't be from a country, but from Ninja's fanbase. Even such a huge contribution likely won't make a dent in the estimated $100 billion of damaged infrastructure already inflicted by the Russian military, but they all proved to be exceptionally generous donations for an exceptionally good cause. In terms of new releases, March saw the launch of Gran Turismo 7, Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Dawn of Ragnarok expansion, Ghostwire Tokyo, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. April is set for a very slow month of game releases, including LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, MLB The Show 22, and Chrono Cross The Radical Dreamers Edition. Viewers who wish to watch our huge coverage of the Ukrainian war can hit the bell to be notified as soon as that goes live. But until next time, cheers for watching.